Hi, I'm Sean Reardon, Mayor of Newburyport, and welcome to the latest edition of the Mayor's Corner. We are back in the corner office this week to tell you about what's going on all over Newburyport. If you remember, last week we were filming up at Newburyport High School where they had a big internship fair going on, which was really wonderful. And it was nice to meet with students and a lot of community members that came and had set up tables to encourage internships for our students. So again, thank you for having us up at Newburyport High School. We hope to get back up there again soon. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday this past weekend, whether you celebrate Passover or Easter. You know, we do both in my family. We had a wonderful time getting together with family and friends. And, you know, I heard from a lot of people over the last couple of days, and it was, for some of them, the first time that they were, you know, getting together in more larger family gatherings, you know, after these past 2 years of the pandemic. So it was really nice to hear. So I do think we're getting back to some sort of normalcy here in the city. So again, I hope you had a great long weekend. I hope everyone that ran the marathon had a great Monday. And now let's talk about what's going on in the city, right? So first, the Streets and Sidewalks plan has been finally put into action. And I know you're probably sick of me talking about it because I talk about it every week. But again, it's my 5-year rolling $10 million plan that we've put in action here in Newburyport. And we started the work on Tuesday. So we're down in Ward 5 working on those streets, you know, off of Hale Street. So I hear the work is going really well. We're going to be moving. We're moving right along. And next week, we're going to start on Monday on Water Street, you know, between Marlborough and Shandell. We're going to be doing that section of Water Street. So that's where we're coming next. It's a real excited plan, really excited about the plan. And, you know, we're working with a great contractor and we're going to be able to really hit all these streets that we want to hit this year. And like I said before, we're going to do 23 streets this year, which again, we did 4 streets last year. So this is just something we're going to try to build on every year. We also have a meeting coming up on Tuesday. This is a Zoom meeting at 5 o'clock. And this is that meeting where if you were part of the petition process, you either thought your sidewalk should be on that list or you thought your street should be on that list. So log into that meeting, go to our website, cityofnewburyport.com to get the Zoom link. And then you can attend that meeting on Tuesday at 5 o'clock. And then we'll talk about your streets and we'll see where they fit in the plan. And, you know, we want this plan to be as transparent as possible, which is why you can go to the city website and check out the whole plan right now for the next 5 years. You can see what streets have made it on our list. But we've also left us some wiggle room too, because, you know, streets and sidewalks change from year to year. So, you know, there are going to be cases where whether they be safety or they move up the priority list, that we're going to have to add some certain streets and sidewalks to this list. So again, we want you to be part of the process. We want you to come in and tell us what you think. And we're going to do our best to get to all the streets and sidewalks, you know, not just in this first 5 years, but in the years to come. We're going to make this a priority and we're going to catch up on the infrastructure that we've kind of let fall behind. All right, so that's our streets and sidewalks. I want to send a shout out to Plum Island. We had another weird storm yesterday that I don't think was on anyone's radar. You know, we had some high winds and high tide, and we had rain very early in the morning, so we kind of missed it. But we had a really high tide, and I had a lot of residents out there get in touch with me and send me some videos of what's happening out in that Reservation Terrace area. So there's a couple things still going on there. So I just want you to know on the city side, we're working on ways that we can better support you, you know, on the 77th, 75th, 73rd Street. So we're going to be out there this week. You'll see us out there doing a little bit of work to try to get things back to the way they were, build up some of those dunes, checking on the core bags, making sure they're holding up, and then checking on our rock formations to make sure that they're holding up against the high tides that we had. But this is going to happen continuously with these big storms. So it's just something that we have to keep monitoring and kind of keep looking and reevaluating how we're dealing with that impact on the Reservation Terrace area. So we're still working with the Army Corps of Engineers about getting a bid out for the dredging. That's another big thing that's going to happen. They're working on that. We got an update yesterday. So unfortunately, we're still about 4 weeks away from that bid getting out, but they're compiling all that information and they're working with some new survey data, and you know, we're still on track. So my office, we're staying on top of it, and we're going to keep supporting our residents out on Plum Island as far as that goes. Another thing I wanted to mention is my strategic plan. So as you know, we released our strategic plan to the city council a few weeks ago, and we were going to do a presentation at that city council meeting, but they had so many things on their agenda, we decided to push it. So we will be doing that at a committee of the whole pretty soon. But what we really wanted to do, especially this first term of mine in office, is we really wanted to just set out a kind of list of priorities that we'd like to do. And everything that we do should fall within the strategic plan. And it really should guide us And so, which is why we wanted to share it with not only our department heads here in City Hall, but also the City Council, so they know, where our priorities lie and where we're going to try to move forward. And I just want to tell you real quickly, it's based around 4 pillars, okay? So that first pillar of the strategic plan is we want to secure and invest in our city infrastructure. I just talked about streets and sidewalks. That's absolutely a huge part of that. I mean, there's also things around our infrastructure and water that we like to prioritize as well. But that all falls under that first pillar. That second pillar is provide high quality public services. I mean, again, any city or town that you live in, you rely on those high quality public services. So we're going to, continue to work on those here in the city. The third pillar is guide the future development of the city. And that's really working with our planning department. We just came out with a facilities master plan that my office worked on. That's going to drive a lot of these decisions and be able to plan and think for the future here in Newburyport. So that's a big part of that. And we're going to continue to jump into that in a little bit more detail in the coming weeks. And finally, that fourth pillar is lead in building a collaborative and engaged city. And I've tried to do that from day one here in office. I'm trying to be transparent as I can. I'm trying to get information out to you as many different ways as I can. I'm also doing open office hours to make my office accessible. So we're going to continue to work on those things because I think if any city can run properly, it needs to have a free flow of information to keep residents informed, and then have opportunities for them to seek input from as well. So that can be in the form of surveys. It can be in the form of volunteering for our many boards and commissions, which we've talked about a little bit. So we're going to talk about the strategic plan more going forward, but that's available on our website right now as well. So you can go check that out. And we go into those pillars in a little bit more detail, but you'll see a lot of the things that we talk about on a weekly basis fall somewhere on that strategic plan. And that's the idea. And we're going to use that plan to drive us going forward as well. Another cool thing that came up this week is that we've been doing a lot of these interviews around vacancies on our boards and commissions, and I was having a really nice conversation with someone that I eventually nominated for a board. But it revolved around mental health, and particularly coming out of the pandemic. I mean, I think this is such a huge topic and issue here in Newburyport. So we've been trying to think creatively about what we can do as a city to help support kind of the mental health of our residents. So we are looking into forming a mental health advisory group. Again, if this interests you at all, please email my office, mayor@cityofnewburyport.com. We're just having initial discussions, and I'm working with the health department and youth services and a couple of the other departments here in town of just thinking about what that would look like. I just think it's a great opportunity. We have so much expertise here in the city around mental health. And I think there are things on a city-wide level that we could be doing, not just focused on kids, not just focusing on the elderly, but citywide. What are some of the approaches that we're taking to mental health? So again, stay tuned. But if you have interests or have some things you'd like to add to that conversation, please reach out to my office because that's something we're talking about right now. And I'm really excited about it because I think there's a lot of good that we can do with that. Speaking of community feedback, we're still going through the process of updating our website. So we are going to be sending out a survey to the public that can be accessed through the website, but we'll also be emailing that out to residents as well. And really, the website is just part of that overall communications plan, right? Or leading in that collaborative, engaged city. I mean, you have to have resources that are user friendly and are ways that citizens can easily interact with the city. And the website is a big part of that. So I think our website is very outdated, even though I'm trying to use it to the best of my ability right now. But I know we can do better. So we're working with the platform Civic Plus that we currently have. But we're going to go with a complete redesign. So stay tuned for that survey because we really want your input. Not only, I'm trying to work with my city departments here about what they're looking for in a website and what functionality they're looking for, but I also need to hear from you. How do you want to interact with that website? What information do you want right at your fingertips? And, again, how to navigate that in the best way possible. And again, we want to make it as easy as we can for each and every one of you. So again, look for that. Please take the few minutes and fill out that survey, and we're going to take all that information and work on that new website, which I think I'm really excited about. It's going to be great. What else is going on? There's a couple of events coming up this weekend that I wanted to talk about. Well, one of them's this weekend, and one of them is a few weeks away. But first is Nourishing the North Shore, which is a group here in town, has set up a Walk for Hunger. And this is going to take place Sunday, May 1st from 10 to 12, okay? And this is gonna all take place from Riverwalk Brewery. So you can actually take off from Riverwalk and you end at Riverwalk. It's a 4-mile loop that they're gonna do on the rail trail. We'll put up the flyer so you can have some information from that, but there's many ways you get involved. I plan on being there with my family that day, but you can also make a donation as well. But they do a lot, not only working here in Newburyport, but the greater Newburyport area. They work with a lot of different of the nonprofits, whether it be the Newbury Food Pantry or our Neighbor's Table, or the Pennick House. There's so many different organizations around here that work on this, nourishing the North Shore and food insecurity. I know we talked about it a lot during my campaign. I think you'd be really surprised of how many people struggle with food insecurity here in the Newburyport area. So I'm excited about that event. Hopefully it's going to be a great day. So please check out that event that's coming up on May 1st. And lastly, we have Earth Day coming up on Friday, April 22nd, which some of you know is a special day for me, but it's Earth Day and Stash the Trash is taking place that day. And I did mention this last week, but I wanted to give her another shout out. Sawyer Wilson, who's a 5th grader, 11-year-old at the Mullen Upper Elementary School, wanted to do something, right? So she loves the beach and she wanted to do something special for a nonprofit here in town, the Jeannie Geiger Crisis Center. So she kind of combined those two things. She has organized this Stash the Trash cleanup event. She'll have all the materials there. It's on Friday. It's from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. My family and I will be there. It's a good start to the day, especially because it's Earth Day too. I think it's a great way to, pitch in a little bit. And I know the beach needs some attention, especially after coming through a tough couple storms this winter. So we're going to go to that event. It's at Plum Island Point. And Sawyer's going to be there with all the materials that you need. But it's also a fundraiser for the Jeannie Geiger Crisis Center. So we'll put up that information as well. But you can already collect donations. She's already raised, I think, $2,500. I would love to keep gaining on that, okay, and keep improving upon that. So we'll put out that information. But again, applause to Sawyer for putting this together. I think it's going to be a great event. And I look forward to seeing you on Friday. And that's my Mayor's Corner this week. I feel like it was a quick one this week. I didn't have a ton to talk about, but we do have a lot of great things going on. We have a city council meeting coming up on Monday, 4/25, and then we have a school committee meeting coming up on 4/26. So it's one of those weird weeks that we have back-to-back meetings, and it's because of the school vacation week this week. But a lot of important things happening at those meetings, so please check them out. The city council is going to be looking at a few things. One of them is going to be the funding to kind of move forward the Newburyport Youth Services at 59 Low Street project, as well as looking at the Brown School Gym for a future city use project that we're working with a architecture firm on. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully we can move that forward. And on Tuesday, just a reminder, April 26th for school committee, that will be their last budget meeting. Okay, so the whole budget will finally be presented. I hopefully have a nice, robust discussion around that, and hopefully we can move that budget forward. And just so you know the process, after the school committee votes that budget forward, it then comes back to City Hall and it gets incorporated into my overall budget. And once May comes, we'll start those budget and finance budget hearings with each department. So that'll be a lot of information coming your way coming in May. And that's it. So again, I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the weather that we've been having. It's a little cool for spring, but it's still, the sun's out. It's a beautiful day out there. So get out there, enjoy it. And I will see you next week. And just remember, if you're ever stuck in a corner, the mayor's got your back. Take care.